Hi there, it's Sam. Just wanted to talk about some marijuana reform. Yeah, it's not in the news or anything like that, but it is very, very important uh, for a lot of reasons that I'm about to explain. Um, and hopefully, when I'm finished, you'll agree with me and want to share this with others. So, uh, let's get down to some brass tacks and numbers, statistics, etc. Uh, because that's usually the easiest language to speak in when trying to make this argument. Uh, Half of the U.S. land-wise uh, is comfortable with you smoking weed. Land-wise, half of America is cool with that because you got 21 states that have outright recreationally legalized it. 10 states decriminalized it, and then a whole lot of our territories that have legalized it. Um, so there's a pretty good reason from that standpoint because you have a lot of American farmland available to use for cultivating that crop. Uh, Two, you have just over 50% of Americans, adult Americans, have smoked marijuana, and that's that's willing to admit it. That's people that have said, yeah, I smoked weed. It's not positively, not negatively. That's yes, I have. uh it's a lot of people. It's a lot of people. And I think that it's one of those kind of situations. If it's federally illegal but you have half of the population doing something illegal, it doesn't make sense to keep it illegal. It's like the alcohol prohibition thing. It didn't work for the economy. It's bad for the economy in this case too. Um. Oh, and to go further on that limb, I'm gonna go out on a limb here myself and say that in those 21 states where it's recreationally legal, you're probably having some federal staffing issues too. Just a thought. All right. 88% of us in America, 88% of the American population is for making it legal. And with 10% of a population that smokes, um, every company that's throwing out somebody that tests positive for marijuana is throwing out 1 in 10 viable applications. So I just that's a big number. That's part of the unemployment problem that you're seeing. Uh, we have to move on. We don't live in 1976 anymore, guys. We don't live under Richard Nixon or Gerald Ford. We don't live under the Reagan presidency or George H.W. Bush. We don't even live under W. Bush, his son, anymore. We live in the 2020s where the climate has changed significantly and it's time to acknowledge the will of the people. It is time to admit, it's time to acknowledge that. And it's really of the utmost importance as well that people in the capitalist class understand how much money they're throwing away. Because We're talking $3 billion in tax revenue alone that came out of the marijuana industry last year. 3 billion in taxes alone. That's a lot. It's enough to fund an educational system. It's enough to fund DOT projects. It's enough to fund national security projects. Um, and you know what? So this one's here for all you guys in the war state. Shit, it's enough money to manufacture more guns. If that's really the way that if you want to focus on it, I don't really care how people think about it. Just one step at a fucking time. Look, you live in the 2020s now, and the more you keep people from being able to work over some problem that you had 60 years ago, that's stupid, to say the least. Uh, and that's that. I'm not gonna go being offensive and saying mean things, but that is nonsensical, short-sighted. It's bad business acumen. So yeah. Oh yeah, and for everybody else too. Like 4 and 5 people really could care less if you're smoking a joint. Um, More people care about the fact that people smoke cigarettes in public than they do about smoking weed in public now. So let's actually talk about it instead of this whole let's watch the propaganda on it and let's listen to what our betters say. Who cares what some stupid CEO says? They don't live our lives. They don't live our average lives. They they need us. So for everybody on that same page, like share this, like this, subscribe. Let's do more. Let's make a change. Let's make a real change. It's it's time to make some changes in America for the better. So that we can have the kind of lives that our grandparents had. So that we can all, if we don't all own our own cars, so that we all can have a high speed rail to get to work or some shit like that. So that we can all have homes. We can get people out of the streets if you just rethink some stuff. But anyway, this is basically just an introductory video. I don't know. Probably find more about social justice and economics and whatever. I'm an ADD guy. I'm a guy with ADHD, so probably a lot of topics gonna get covered on this channel. Anyway, like, subscribe, share, talk about it more than anything. I don't care if I get famous about this. I just get the message out. We can make a difference. We must make a difference.